Okay, then comes the sixth one, security misconfiguration. Just like misconfigured access control, more general security configuration errors are huge risk that give attackers quick, easy access to sensitive data in site areas. It happens in all the environment because we need to understand any and every manufacturer of a product. Product means it may be a hardware, or it may be a software, or maybe an application, or any server, freeware, or paid software, anything. It will be designed and have the mind for the general public. Once we purchase an application or an infrastructure, we need to configure as per our requirement. That's all we know. All the configurations or all the settings are open and freely available. So when we have to have the unnecessary services or configurations open, it will be a way for an attacker to come into your place and gain more access to it. So when we install a web server, we need to install the right components with the right configuration. In the same way, not configuring is also a misconfiguration. You must configure it perfectly or properly. And not configuring is also actually can understand or termed as misconfiguration. Dynamic testing, it's a remedy for that one. Dynamic testing can help you to discover misconfigured security in your application. And the seventh one is cross-site scripting. With cross-site scripting, attackers take advantages of APIs, application program interfaces, we know that we are using some Google Maps or AWS like APIs or DOMs in our code. These APIs and DOM can be manipulated to retrieve data from or send commands to your application. Cross-site scripting widens the attack surface for threat actors, enabling them to hijack user accounts, access browser histories, then spread trojans or worms, or control browsers remotely. Remote access is possible with that one. It is actually cross-site scripting is actually inputting values in username field or password field. Inputting values in username field or password field. So when I use a username and password, example, you might be heard about the website vanillaform.org. Vanilla form, forum, vanilla.org. And I think you have heard about this, which is a freely available web page where you can log into. In this site, it is available for you to practice web hacking. It is actually we can practice the web hacking. So you just remind in your mind only vanillaform.org. You can also go through that. You can learn hacking from there, or you can do hacking with that site. This is actually poorly designed site. We need to find the vulnerability and identify the vulnerability of some sites. Any sites, if you can take any sites and you can find and identify the vulnerability of that site used in this vanillaform.org. We can test our hacking skills step by step there. without any complex tools or without any high stuffs or like paid professional tools, we can do hacking there. Built-in features or add-ons, or from this Firefox or Chrome, built-in features of this or add-ons of this Firefox and Chrome. Using that one only, that one itself, we can easily manipulate things and we can bypass securities of any web page. Actually, we can have remedies in office by training developers. Okay, what is the what are you have to do to, or what are the measures you have to take against this cross-site scripting is like training developers is the best practice, such as data encoding and input validation. Doing all that things in our code, you can reduce this the likelihood of this risk. Sanitizer your data. Sanitize your data. That's what you have to do. Sanitize your data by validation test. That is best for this one. And that's all about the remedy or measure for this cross-site scripting. Then comes the eighth one, insecure deserialization. Deserialization or retrieving data and objects that have been returned to disk or otherwise saved can be used to remotely execute code in your application or as a door to further attacks. That is a remote code execution means attacker running a script or running a code or a system function or a new web server which performs a regular task but which is not intended for the web services or web application. Particular task will give some gain or profit or any good things to the user. Okay, then the format that an object is serialized into is either structured or binary text through common serialization systems like JSON and XML, etc., etc. Actually, this flows occurs when an attacker uses untrusted data to manipulate an application. Initiate actually a DOS or denial of service attack or execute unpredictable code to change the behavior of the application. Although this serialization is difficult to exploit, penetration testing or use of application security tools can reduce the risk further. You can use either penetration testing or any application security tools. They can reduce further this insecure deserialization with this JSON or XML through this serialization. Additionally, do not accept serialized objects. That is actually the remedy, or you have to do prevention is better than better. That is what we to know. So we have to get prevented from such deserialization by do not accepting serialized objects from untrusted sources and do not use methods that only allow primitive data types. The ninth one is using components with non-vulnerabilities. Using components with the non-vulnerabilities. Actually, no matter how secure your code is, attackers can exploit APIs, dependencies, and other third-party components if they are not themselves secure. actually, whenever we install a software or applications from trusted sites, okay, we must be aware of that one. That's and maybe some non-vulnerabilities we are undergoing. A static analysis accomplished by a software composition analysis can locate and can help neutralize insecure components in your applications. And the last one, insufficient logging and monitoring. Insufficient logging and monitoring coupled with missing or ineffective integration with incident responses. These responses like failing to log errors or attacks and poor monitoring practices can introduce a human element to security risk. Threat actors count on a lack of monitoring and slower remediation times so that they can carry out their attacks before you notice it, or you have time to notice or react. To prevent issues with insufficient logging and monitoring, make sure that all login failures, access control failures, and server-side input validation failures are logged with context so that you can identify suspicious activity. Penetration testing is a great way to find areas of your application with insufficient logging too. Okay, so that's all about topic, and I think you and make understand all these things, and thank you.